So it is beyond mitigation and adaptation, beyond scientific terminologies of greenhouse emissions. It's looking into how do we strengthen local capacities. And that's where the concept of UNESCO sites is also useful. So I will come now to ask you about another very important area before I move to Saraswati. You are leading, Dr. Manda, this climate reality project in Indonesia. Can you tell us more about climate reality project? And also please link with this definition of resilience as well, what you're doing which helps improve resilience of local communities.
So the Climate Reality Project is a global organization founded by former US Vice President Al Gore. He is also a Nobel laureate. And it was founded in 2006. Right now, it has 31,000 volunteer climate reality leaders in 170 countries. Climate reality leaders are those who have been trained by climate reality, including Mr. Al Gore and a team of scientists, advocates, activists, to really understand the climate crisis, its solutions, and also actions to be taken. And the mission is to catalyze a global solution to the climate crisis by making urgent action a necessity across every sector of society. So you can say that the 31,000 climate reality leaders come from all walks of life and different abilities, capabilities, and their age range is 12 to 87 years of age. It
Wow.
shows that yeah, it shows that everybody can have a role in addressing the climate crisis. So you ask how we do or what activities we do in terms of climate change resilience. So after being trained by Al Gore and Climate Reality, these volunteer climate reality leaders have what they call acts of leadership. Now, these acts of leadership could be in terms of slides presentations where they can educate or inform the general public or their communities about the climate crisis and the solutions. Or they could write media articles, blog posts, uh, opinion letters to the media, meeting influencers like decision makers, parliament members. They could also organize events, participating in events, and most important, creating resources that would be beneficial for the general publics.
That's climate change is real, and we feel it. And even we cannot, like, sometimes we heard in the news like the weather is unpredictable now because as climate has changed. So how can like it's directly affect the agriculture and our life itself. So that's why like I think like this has happened. Not all people realize that that's happened. We feel it, but we don't know that we already experienced climate change. So that's why like I'm interested in like exploring more about climate change and sharing the information. So that's why my passion and my focus on climate change is in education.
When she was in this youth camp for climate change, the leadership camp, what did you learn? What was most inspiring thing you learned, and how did you link with these mentors?
As I mentioned earlier, that I that's the first word that I heard about climate change, and at the time I see like, yeah, this is happening, and like not many people knows, and actually youth also can be the part of solutions. That's one I learned. And as we may know that to address climate change is not about like one country's problem and everyone's problem. Actually, for the whole world, the whole part of the world needs to be participate. So I learned that we can, as a youth, we can also the part of solution, probably by using social media. So like what Ibu Amanda said, that we made a video and we share the video and we ask our friends to like give a thumb. It's not only about that actually. By asking them like, could you please to give a thumb for our video? Actually, we already promote about climate change to them. What I learned from that camp is like how important the interaction between indigenous people, not only indigenous people, but supported by academics. So in the camp, there is also academicians that give share their research, and also some local governments that involved in that camp. So I think three of these interaction is very important: indigenous people or local communities, and also academics, and supported by local governments.
I think the key for our interesting activities, the keywords are international, interdisciplinary, and intergenerational
Wow.
activities. So I'm sure those keywords will bring better results. And we would like to encourage UNESCO and its partners to have more youth leadership camp for climate crisis working with us. And the most important thing is the actions on the ground and the hands-on experience in UNESCO sites. That's the strength of the camp with UNESCO. And also, I would like to have, the youth wherever, either in Indonesia and other countries as well, be connected to their Japanese counterparts, maybe digitally at first. And when the pandemic is over, we can have international visits between Indonesia and Japan, the youth exchange, or other countries as well. And finally, I would like to quote what Al Gore said at the Indonesian Pavilion at the UN Climate Change Conference in Bonn 2 years ago. He said specifically, and I quote, "I want to encourage international support for Climate Reality Indonesia's flagship program, the Youth Leadership Camp for Climate Crisis," end quote. So we have his endorsement.
So first of all, let me thank Saraswati also for the enthusiasm she brings. That's really wonderful. You are our success story. We want everyone to be like you with the empowerment which comes from such efforts of the youth camps. And Dr. Amanda, for your leadership. As you said, the three international, interdisciplinary, and intergenerational. That's a very important message, Dr. Amanda. Climate change is an issue which cannot be solved by any individual nation. It cannot be solved by an individual, no matter how powerful that individual can be. We need to build capacity at all levels. And from the point of view of resilience, Dr. Manda has clearly described to us for the ability of the people at the grassroots level to be able to cope with the challenges of climate change. We need to build their capacity, and we need to empower them with the better understanding, and we need to provide them with the tools. Youth is very important part of whatever we do, and in this regard, the Climate Reality Project is doing a wonderful job with the leadership of Dr. Amanda in Indonesia, and with the leadership of the previous Vice President of US, Mr. Al Gore. And there are so many people involved in this effort, so we appreciate that. Also, the work which Saraswati has described to us, very importantly, those youth camps with the help of Dr. Amanda, Climate Reality Project, with the UNESCO sites, UNESCO Biosphere Reserves, with young people coming from all over Indonesia, coming together, talking to each other, making simple videos, explaining their ideas, coming from different walks of life, and the role of mentors, very important, and giving thumbs up to those efforts, but making those networks. Saraswati has given us a clear example of those 50 people come together. Maybe we don't remember all of them, but we become friends with some, and those friendships last very long. Role of social media very important. So connecting with each other during these times of COVID, this may be and has been a very key way for us to connect with each other. And climate change has not gone away. We need climate youth leadership now. We need all of you to play your role. And I'm sure we will continue to work with all these areas.